welcome to I Love This Thing So Frigging Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Claire Hawkins, a cartoonist. Welcome to the show, Claire.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. So, here's how this works. Claire will have 3 minutes to talk about something that she loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything she wants. Our only requirement is that she loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Claire?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, got my timer. Now, what do you love so frigging much?
So I am a cartoonist. But what I wanted to talk about today wasn't specifically cartooning. It was drawing from life or sketching. And those are two different things, and I'll sort of explain them. Drawing from life is observing something in the real world or on your device, whatever it is. You might be looking at photos on the internet, or you might be looking at mountains in the distance, and you're drawing them. Whereas cartooning, a lot of it comes from the imagination. So I really love drawing from life because I find that easier in many ways than drawing from your imagination, where all the things you're drawing from sort of a library of images that you have in your head. It involves drawing from imagination, involves a fair amount of sort of active thinking and sort of creativity on the page, whereas drawing from life, you're just repeating something that's in front of you, right? You're taking it from the real world and putting it on the page. Okay, so that's sort of a definition of what I'm talking about. Why do I love it so much? Well, I love it because, let me go back to sort of the journey to how I got to where I am today in drawing. And it started in college. I, through a random weird choices, ended up as a photo major. And I was taking a lot of photographs and discovering that I wasn't actually all that good at photography and didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it. And that was for a number of reasons. One is that the camera is always between you and your subject, right? It's this thing that for me was getting in the way of my experiences. I was spending so much time thinking about, I have to get the shot, so I have to have the camera up all the time. It became a source of anxiety, especially when we're talking about people too. There's the anxiety of, this subject thinks they're going to be watched. It's very awkward for all of us involved. There's this piece of technology I'm pointing at them. When I started taking drawing classes, that feeling totally went away. When you're looking at something without a camera, it's sort of like eye contact, right? You don't have that barrier between you and your subject. If you're drawing a person, for example, you can make that human connection. Or if you're drawing a landscape, you don't have the problem of the piece of technology is between you and the experience. It's just you and the mountain. And I think also it allows me as a person, to spend more time with the experience, right? Drawing something takes so much more time than it forces you to stay in one place and sort of meditate and think about an experience in a place that you are.
That sounds lovely. Thank you for telling us about this today, Claire.
Yeah, of course.
I do have some questions for you now. You mentioned drawing from landscapes. You mentioned mountains as a specific kind of landscape. Do you have any favorite memories of a particular landscape? Maybe it was a mountain, maybe it wasn't, that stands out in your memory as you really enjoyed the experience of drawing it or enjoyed the sketch that came from that experience?
You guessed completely right. In college, I did a study abroad. And I took my camera with me because I was a photo major, but I was also taking other classes on the study abroad. And we were in Cuba, and we would stop sort of on the side of the road sometimes and just get out of our equipment, and the whole class would just sort of sit down on their tripods and draw whatever they wanted to draw. And I just have this really deep, detailed memory of spending like 45 minutes drawing this landscape. And I think part of the reason my memory of it is so detailed is the fact that I was drawing in it. You're really forced to see something in a way that you don't necessarily see it when you're just passing by, or you spend the 3 seconds that, people, when they go into museums, they spend on average 3 seconds looking at a painting. But when you're drawing it, you really have to understand what it is and what it looks like. And so that's why I have this amazing memory, I think.
It's really interesting to me that you're talking a lot about your experience as the artist interacting with what you're working on. I think a lot of people tend to jump to the end goal of, oh, well, someone else is going to look at this. What impact am I going to have on that? Do you think that is less what you love about the experience of drawing?
I think when I'm drawing from imagination, when I'm cartooning, I'm thinking a lot about what the viewer's experience is going to be. But when I'm drawing from life, it's much more, it's like studying almost. And so that's like not even in my head very often. It's about the experience for me. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that I really love about it.
It is lovely. It sounds really meditative to me, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything that you don't like about drawing from life? And if so, how do you handle that?
So I'm going to say something here that I think one of your previous guests has said, is that if I do it too much, it hurts me.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, I used to teach full-time, and last spring I quit my job and we moved across the country, and I've been doing this now more full-time and have developed a repetitive stress injury. So my wrist and my elbow are ache and twinge and hurt if I draw for too much. And in fact, I haven't really drawn anything in about a month now because of this, and it's really frustrating. So I hate that my body sometimes does not want me to do the thing that I want to do.
What do you do about that?
I don't know, eat ice cream. You ice the injured area, you wear the brace, all those things. I've tried to shift to other activities, but the problem is all of the other activities I want to shift to also involve using my dominant hand. Mm-hmm. So it's been challenging. But I'm just, I have been using the time to sort of think about the project that I'm working on in terms of design, so that when I get back to it, I will have sort of thought through some of those issues.
Excellent. I think there is something to maybe just taking some time to let a project live in your head for a while. Because maybe when you start working on it, maybe it wasn't the right moment, and maybe it'll be something you never thought it would be when you finally do get to bring it to life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm hoping, anyway.
I hope so, too. Claire, again, thank you so much for telling us about something you love today.
No, thank you. Really, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you would like to learn more about Drawing from Life or our guest, Claire, you can find her website in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Frigging Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU the Window at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.